Marshall's a tough environment, though. Marshall's that sneaky road trip, in my opinion, and this has been like a decade long that Marshall's been fire at home and terrible on the road. That's a dangerous road game, but if you look at, there's no return game with Kent State. There's no return game with Akron. Maybe when they go to UMass with Frank Martin being such a good coach, he could really take teams out of their rhythm. But I think there's a case that they could be undefeated in the regular season.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
If there's more revenue for the league, there's more revenue for the players, and that would make it saleable. So they may have objections. There's more risk of injury the longer the season goes. But, these guys, their careers are short. The money is good. Money would be better. So I wouldn't bet against the league expanding sooner rather than later.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
This is the fear that we had going on. And the players obviously were paid $10,000 to $30,000 per fix. But what this does is it hits at the core of the identity in the sport, especially in the modern day betting era.
College basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
His wife and his kids were like, I kind of like this. This kind of works out for me. Hey, daddy's a celebrity again, so I get access to things. Daddy's making money again. Hadn't made a nickel in the last 5 years. Now he's made a lot of money, so I'm sure they're good.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, the prospect of daddy being away, like he ain't cheating on you in Buffalo, I can tell you that. I live there.
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
It's time to rise and grind. Radio on the early line on a Tuesday morning right here on the Sports Grid Network. I'm Donnie Rightside. He is Joe Ranieri, and you know the drill. Every day I tell you, we got you 2 hours on the hottest topics to get you through exactly what you need to know, whether it's the Duke Blue Devils easily dispatching of the Louisville Cardinal, or how about Blackjack 21? That's usually a pretty good thing, especially if you're Arizona getting their 21st win yesterday against BYU. College basketball, NBA action. Did you fade the Sixers yesterday because I told you to take Charlotte? You should have. They were up 50-plus points at one point in that game. So many hot topics to get through. So many fun things to do, Joe. We got the people ready. We'll deliver.
Yeah, we got a lot of updates, too, on the big game just 2 weeks away. Donnie, we saw some early movement yesterday with in the odds market, so we got a lot to cover here today.
Yes, we do. And more importantly there, did you grab your cup of coffee? It's freezing cold where I'm at right now with no sign of it heating up. But, Joe, got that hot topic you need to start your day.
Well, Donnie, I thought today would be a great day to talk about the concept of supply and demand, because it's a pretty relevant topic in the job market these days. And speaking of job market, there are only 32 NFL head coaching jobs in the entire world. It is the pinnacle of the profession. It's a golden ticket, unless that ticket punches a ride to Cleveland, apparently, because the Cleveland Browns are currently putting on a masterclass in how to repel talent. Since firing Kevin Stefanski, who, by the way, was unemployed for about 5 minutes before the Atlanta Falcons hired him, the Browns have been rejected more times than a telemarketer at dinner time, Donnie. The latest, Grant Udinski. He is the offensive coordinator for the Jacksonville Jaguars. He's 30 years old, Donnie. Imagine being 30 and having a billionaire offer you an NFL head coaching gig. An NFL head coaching gig. You take that job, right? You sprint to sign the contract and get it done. Nope. He told him to pull his name from consideration. He would rather stay an assistant in Jacksonville than run the show in Cleveland. And he wasn't alone. Mike McDaniel said no thanks. Jesse Mintner said, yeah, no thanks. I'm going to Baltimore. Why? because the Browns are apparently treating Super Bowl caliber candidates like they're applying for an entry-level desk job. Reports are coming out that Cleveland is making candidates do homework assignments. They want essays, people. They want cognitive tests. You're hiring a football coach, not a data entry clerk. It's actually pretty hysterical yet humiliating at the same time. Now, the Raiders and the Cardinals are desperate as well. Yes, we get that. The Jets have been a punchline for years, but even the Jets found somebody to take the headset. So congrats to the Haslam family. You have defied the laws of economics. You have a job opening that pays multi-millions of dollars and offers global fame. And it's one of the most exclusive titles on earth. Yet, nobody wants it from you. How does that feel? Oh, somebody will take this job, by the way, but it's simply because, Donnie, they have no other options. So congrats. The Browns are open for business. But, Donnie, that store is empty.
Absolutely, it's empty. And it's a great topic because sometimes you just look at the situation. Forget about immediate success. Who's my quarterback? Can I win next year? Sometimes you can just open up the book of the Cleveland Browns, which was reinstituted, 1999, and go, this team stinks every single year. So what is going to change for me with my first head coaching job to turn around a franchise that hasn't won in anything in 26 years and is usually winning 2 to 3 games? It's not going to happen at this point. You're going to need the quarterback first, I guess, before you even get the coach. Good luck, Cleveland Browns, on finding anybody to take a job that will probably pay $10+ million a year. You'll be fired with probably $50 million in your account. And still, Joe, these people aren't wanting to take this job because of the nonsense that goes along with it. Great topic to start off the day. Let's get to the early lineup, which includes Ryan Wedding. He's 44 years old. Oh, yeah, the Olympics are coming up. He won't be participating. Why? Because he's supposedly tracked multi-tons of quantities of cocaine from Colombia to Canada. And by the way, pleads not guilty.
Yeah, of course he pleads not guilty, which is exactly why he was on the run the entire time, Donnie. This is one like one of those situations where he's like, oh, wait, you're looking for me? Like I had no idea you. No, you're guilty. And it must be nice, Donnie. Remember, there was a time and a day and an age when we thought we were invincible, right? I think he's about to learn the lesson that, you're not invincible and you can very well be found just like you were.
Yeah, it's not a TV show like, shit caught up to me. Can we just let me go now? Sorry, I did this stuff. Nope. That's going to have a stiff penalty right now here for the 44-year-old. Mike McDaniel, this NFL coaching landscape, he's like, I don't even want a head coaching job. Just give me the OC job with Justin Herbert. I'll be just fine. Made some money in Miami. I don't need to go through this again. He's announced finally as the OC for the Chargers.
Yeah, and listen, I mean, it must be nice, right? McDaniel, of a lot of things, we know he's a great coordinator. Didn't work out here in Miami, but I thought the guy did a great job in impossible circumstances. He will be a head coach again at some point, but kudos to him for being smart enough to be like, yeah, Browns, I'm good. Like, I'm good. Cardinals, I'm good. Raiders, I'm good. I'm going to the Chargers to be an OC.
Ben Shelton continues to advance at the Australian Open, giving the Americans a chance possibly, or maybe just a sacrificial lamb when he meets the big boys up top here. But he's advancing.
Yeah, congrats. I just saw Alcaraz also advance here this morning. So, Ben, it's been a fun run, but at some point this will end like it always does in every major in tennis now.
Diego Pavia is not 6 feet. Turns out he's around 5'9" at this point. Every single picture against every other quarterback, including the Heisman race, shows you, boy, he looks like he's not that tall. 5'9" and 7/8. Didn't even make it to 5'10".
When you saw him at the Heisman, right?
Yes.
And that broadcast, you look up, you're like, wait a minute, how tall is he? He looked like, is he sitting on phone books? Like, what is going on here? No. At some point in the combine, Donnie, right? Don't they have to measure dudes and like everything? No, I don't. That was maybe the worst lie I've ever seen.
Remember when we thought like, oh no, 10 jobs in the NFL seems like too much. Well, now teams with the primo position like the Buffalo Bills are getting guys like Davis Webb saying, I'll interview every once in a while here to see what happens. Davis Webb completes an interview with the Buffalo Bills. Too many job openings here. Too little hires.
Yeah. It's unfortunate. Yeah. Well, and again, we're running out of legit candidates here, aren't we, at this point? So not great, Buffalo, to be the last one in the job marketplace. Yeah, any recruiter would have told you maybe you just wait a year, but no, you didn't listen.
Just signed up for Indeed. Maybe they can find that head coaching job here for the people that need that here. How about this? People, Joe, starting to come around to my side. It's about maybe 10 years ago when I started screaming at the top of my lungs, make every all-star game go away. And for the longest time, I was the biggest proponent of the NFL. And eventually they scrapped it and they're playing games now. Well, it's still official that you can make the Pro Bowl even if you are not even a good football player. Shedeur Sanders, Pro Bowl quarterback here, had the internet buzzing yesterday, Joe.
Well, I mean, think about it. He was 3-4 as a starter, right? He completed 56% of his pass. He threw for 1,400 yards, 7 touchdowns, 10 picks, 8 games. Of course he's an absolute all-star and Pro Bowler. Are you kidding me? At least that goes on his resume, right?
I'll tell you one thing that I always get a kick out. Look, at the end of the season, just announce the Pro Bowl players who are the best at their position, have a steak dinner, hand out a couple trophies, shake hands, smoke a cigar, and go home. We don't need the Pro Bowl games anymore at this point here. But the PGA Tour, they ain't playing games anymore. Why? Back to ESPN for the first time in 20 years. Wonder if that helps.
Yeah, and they are making it an event for the return of Brooks Koepka as well. There, Donnie, it is going to be wall-to-wall coverage for the return of Brooks Koepka back to the PGA. Should be riveting television.
He better be in shape, ready to go. A lot of pressure on Brooks out here. Spreadlines coming up next on the Tuesday edition right here of the Early Line. 7% chance of winning a PGA Tour major. Would I be wrong by saying I want to invest in the no on Scottie Scheffler? And that $100 investment would pay back $213 here. Everybody thinks Scottie's going to win. It's like 100 golfers in those fields each and every week, and the majors, the best golfers in the world. I'm going against the grain, Joe. Give me the no on Scottie Scheffler.
Prediction Markets Edge. Only on SportsGrid.
What is going on with this Ja Morant saga, right? Joe's on the block. Joe wants to be traded. But now Joe comes back and he denies all trade talk and says Ja says he has no desire to play elsewhere. So he shut it down. He's still viewed as a franchise centerpiece when on the floor. Memphis, they're better with him.
Pro Basketball Today. Only on SportsGrid.
The Buffalo Bills have to find a new head coach. Take a look at the leaders right now. A 33% chance Brian Dable takes that job. You say, well, why? Wait a second here. He's head coach of the New York Giants. Did you know he came from the Buffalo Bills and basically resurrected Josh Allen on that MVP trajectory while he was with the Buffalo Bills? Clay Kubiak, Joe Brady, Davis Webb, all offensive guys, which I agree with.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
Super Bowl Sunday getting closer and closer here. Well, I mean, come on. We just ended Sunday's football games, talked about on a Monday, and here we are on a Tuesday because we have a week and a half plus to get you ready for Super Bowl Sunday. 6:30 start. That's between the Seattle Seahawks, technically the road team, taking on the home team, technically again, the New England Patriots in Santa Clara. This line opened up around 4.5. Some lines bumped up to 5, but primarily, Joe, we're seeing once again 4.5s in the marketplace across the board. The total, however, 46.5 or so at that opening number, has actually been bet down to 45.5 at a lot of outlets here. Seattle and New England still about a week and a half out. Give me that spread line for Super Bowl Sunday.
Yeah, starting to settle in. We saw a lot more New England money push back yesterday. Early, we talked about it in the morning yesterday, Donnie. We did see a lot of overnight Seattle money that extended into yesterday morning. But as the day went on, we started to see some leveling out. We started to see some buyback here once it got to 5, even hit 5.5 at one point, Donnie. But that was kind of the line that was drawn in the sand. Now, keeping in mind, we're still a couple of days away from the limits being raised. Right now, the books are trying to see exactly what the temperature of the public is, and more importantly, the influential bettors who really are the ones that are going to decide which way this line goes early on. And right now, it appears that, yeah, a lot of the pros, Donnie, feel like that 5 number might be pushing it. So I am more inclined to think now that this lands 4.5 or less, more so than maybe 4.5 or more by the time we get to kickoff.
Nebraska on the road to take on Michigan. College basketball, Big Ten. Did you know Nebraska has the nation's longest active win streak right now? But if you take a look at the spread, you wouldn't know that. Michigan favored by 10.5 points across the board, a total of 155.5. The number one shooting three-point team in the Big Ten is Nebraska at 38.5% in conference play. Do you know who lets you shoot the three-point shot? It's Michigan. But also, we saw a little case of that last night between, Louisville loves the three-point shot. Duke doesn't really defend it all that well. Woo! That was a blowout. Joe, Nebraska, Michigan today. Nebraska's going to have a tough time staying unbeaten. No? What's your spread line here?
Well, you got to love it, right? And this shows you that totally different opinions about what the books think, what the pros think, and what the public thinks here. Because the public is looking at a 20-0 Nebraska team and going, wait a minute, they're a double-digit underdog against Michigan? What? Yeah, 20 straight wins is 20 straight wins any which way you slice it, right? But double digits? Well, that's the whole thing, right? Strength of schedule plays a big part of this. Michigan, who's played the second toughest schedule and in all of college basketball, they've got quadrant 1 wins by 4, 40, 30, 40, 10. You get the point here. There is a big difference between playing quality opponents and playing non-quality opponents and being undefeated. And they've only lost 1 game, Michigan, and they are at home, and they make a habit of winning by double digits against lesser teams. We're going to learn a lot about Nebraska here tonight. It's been a great season. It's been a great run, but the market is clearly telling you, Donnie, they are not as good as their record says they are.
Purdue and Indiana, the battle of the state here. It's going to take place tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern. You take a look at this line. Opened up overnight around 4.5 as a favorite towards Purdue. Now we're seeing some outlets as high as 5.5, but most of them selling in between 4.5 and 5 points here. A total in this game listed at 152.5. Purdue at Indiana. Joe, give me a spread line for this one.
Yeah, so basically we have Purdue on a 2-game losing streak by a combined, by the way, 8 points. And they also ran into 2 buzzsaws in Illinois and UCLA. Terrible scheduling spots there. The 4th game of a 10-day road trip out west, they lost because UCLA shot 40% from 3. And then Illinois and UCLA combined shot 47% from 3, Donnie. So we're supposed to believe now that Purdue, instead of being a top 5 team like they were for the first 18 games of the season, No. Now they're just a 4-point favorite going to Assembly Hall. I'm not buying it here. This is far too good a Purdue team here. But had they won those back-to-back games, Donnie, this line would be double digits. Purdue is a favorite. The fact that you're only getting them at 4.5, well, that's what we call a discount in the business.
Talking about undefeated teams, Joe, heading over to the MAC. Your boys, not UMass. It's actually Miami, Ohio that's undefeated. Line opened up double-digit favorite overnight. Now we're seeing it come back to 9.5. Just to give you a little imprint of how these two teams play in conference, the number one efficient most offense in that conference by far is Miami. And by the way, Miami gets to the free throw line better than any other school in that conference. You know who fouls more? UMass. You know who's the best three-point shooting team in that conference? It's Miami. You know who scores more inside the paint efficiently than any other team? It's Miami, Joe. Miami should win this game, but can they cover the 9.5? What's that spread line?
Yeah, well, again, Donnie, we've been talking about this, this team for a while now, and they just, listen, you can't go undefeated and rattle off this many wins in a row without a little bit of luck, right? And that's exactly what they had in back-to-back games. They basically played the same game, and they won in overtime against Buffalo and Kent State. They make big shots when it matters the most here. And now, of course, they're taking on a UMass team that this will be interesting. Can they keep it rolling? None of this is going to matter unless they win the MAC tournament anyway, Donnie. So we all know that. The at-large is not going to be in play for them. So they can keep winning, but ultimately the only thing that matters with this team, keeping in mind when you're looking to bet them, is that they just make it to the MAC tournament and win it. They know it. We know it. The market knows it. But 9.5 does feel a little excessive for a team that just won back-to-back games in overtime.
Head over to the association tonight, 9 o'clock start in Elevation in Denver. The Detroit Pistons are in town as a 6 to 6.5 point favorite in a total of 218.5. 6 out of every 10 tickets coming in on the Pistons on the road as the favorite, Joe. What's that spread line tonight for Pistons Nuggets?
Still a tough place to play, right? I mean, this is a tough road trip now the Pistons are about to embark on. In the best of the East versus what a lot of people think will be one team there that you're going to have to go through in the West. The Nuggets, without all their star players, are still 31-15 on the season, Donnie. This could be a lot closer and a lot tighter than people think.
Sixers also back in play today after getting bounced in Charlotte. Wonder how that works out. Much more. We'll cover some NBA a little bit later. Time to get back to the NFL with some news and notes. % chance of winning a PGA Tour major. Would I be wrong by saying I want to invest in the no on Scottie Scheffler? And that $100 investment would pay back $213 here. Everybody thinks Scottie's going to win. It's like 100 golfers in those fields each and every week in the majors, the best golfers in the world. I'm going against the grain, Joe. Give me the no on Scottie Scheffler.
Prediction Markets Edge. Only on SportsGrid.
What is going on with this John Morant saga, right? Joe's on the block. Joe wants to be traded. But now Joe comes back and he denies all trade talk and John says he has no desire to play elsewhere. So he shut it down. He's still viewed as a franchise centerpiece when on the floor. Memphis, they're better with him.
Pro Basketball Today. Only on SportsGrid.
The Buffalo Bills have to find a new head coach. Take a look at the leaders right now. A 33% chance Brian Dable takes that job. I say, well, why? Wait a second here. He's head coach of the New York Giants. Did you know he came from the Buffalo Bills and basically resurrected Josh Allen on that MVP trajectory while he was with the Buffalo Bills? Clay Kubiak, Joe Brady, Davis Webb, all offensive guys, which I agree with.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
NFL news and notes here. You watched the Seattle Seahawks advance to the NFC Championship game, win that NFC Championship game, and now wind themselves into the Super Bowl here. Tough season all through where they were fighting back and forth with the Los Angeles Rams and clipped them again on Sunday in a close game. Now, Sean McVay, if you just would have kicked that field goal 5 minutes left, I would have had a little bit more dollars in my pocket. You would have covered the spread, but that's not what the Rams do, because Joe will tell you as well, the week before that in Chicago, just play a little bit of defense there, and you probably would have covered a spread or two there at that point. But the season is over now for the Los Angeles Rams, and here's Sean McVay on that Seattle loss.
It was a great back-and-forth game by two great teams, but it's a couple critical errors that ended up costing us, but love this team. It's one of my all-time favorites. I'll be honest with you guys right now. Nothing but gratitude for these guys, nothing but respect for the Seahawks, and I'm pretty numb. I think the finality of all of it, when you don't allow yourself to even think about anything other than just advancing, I felt like we were going to be the team on that podium and we weren't. And, you give Seattle the credit, but I love this group and, I'm never really short on words and I am right now. So it's tough, but this is sports and you got to be able to deal with it.
He's right about one thing there. You lose in the NFC Championship game, boy, it's got to be hard to wait 2 weeks and watch the Super Bowl knowing, Joe, you could have been there, man.
Please. And I'm still replaying this in my head, Donnie. I'm still trying to figure out why we're not challenging that catch, with Cooper Kupp there and the spot, but yet still using a timeout. I'm still trying to figure out why it is, McVay, you didn't go for a 2-point conversion, not once, but twice in those last 2 touchdowns to make it a field goal. I got a lot of questions and a lot less about the players and much more about McVay and his actual game management and play calling.
Puka Nacua on a disappointing offense here. Let's hear from him.
That we had at the red zone on a safety and just not being on the same page as Matthew and just opportunities that I missed. The third down opportunities, knowing that the ball's coming and we're passing the ball and the opportunity for us to make plays is right there and not being able to come down with them. All those moments kind of flash by in your head, and I think I apologize to the defense for putting them in those situations because we feel like we could have executed in order to make that game easier for them.
What did you see? Coach talked about that 4th and 6 that he went for on had a peel out. What did you see on that play?
I was in at number 3, got a little a drop defender from the line of scrimmage and had somebody over there. We were on the back side of the concept. I didn't get a chance to see what happened on the front side, and then quick scramble moves just in the red zone. Everything happens faster, less space for the defense to cover, and I still haven't got a chance to really see it. So a great call by them, and then just thinking about the opportunities on that third down, not being able to make plays so we can avoid 4th down situations and put ourselves in a better situation to go out there and score touchdowns.
2nd and 4 in the red zone, turned into 4th and 4 in the red zone, turned into a turnover on downs, Joe. That's what he's talking about.
That's pretty much exactly it. Play calling, suspect, the whole 9, really, across the board there. It's kind of tough, and that's gonna eat at their craw for a while, Donnie, because you can play the what if game a lot, and especially with them, because as good as Sam Darnold had played, my goodness, the Rams had every opportunity to win that game.
Yep, Matthew Stafford was firing back as if he was right in the middle of his prime. Then there might be some prime doubt if he's coming back here. Here's Sean McVay talking about Stafford's future.
Matthew Stafford could be back next season.
Yeah, if he still wants to play, the hell kind of question is that? The answer, yeah. You have to ask him. We've been totally present. I know that if he wants to, he's still playing at a pretty damn good clip. He's the MVP of the league, and if he's not, I got respect for everybody else, but this guy played at a level that's just different. I appreciate you guys this year. Thank you.
He wanted to get out of there quick, Joe. Did you see that? Exit stage left.
Yeah. It was not good. Yeah, he was not happy with that question, nor was he happy probably with his play calling and game management as well.
The Buffalo Bills should be the hottest job in the marketplace here in the NFL, but we're interviewing guys like Phillip Rivers, who Phillip Rivers is actually pulling his name out of consideration here. That would have been an interesting concept to give him that job, but this is a team that feels like it's right on the cusp. Don't you want somebody who's been there, done that, sort of like that? Hey, Tony Dungy couldn't do it in Tampa. Let's go to John Gruden. Boom, we got a Super Bowl. That's what we're looking for, right, in Buffalo?
No, well, here's the crazy part, Donnie. They don't know what they're looking for. They have no idea what they're doing. And that is completely evident over the last week of how they have conducted themselves and conducted business. His kid is a senior this year in high school on the team, and they've lost back-to-back state championships. Something tells me he's going back to coach one more year in high school.
One more year of high school for Phillip Rivers, and maybe he gets called back to duty late November for another NFL team. More news and notes coming up next right here on the Early Line. %7 chance of winning a PGA Tour major. Would I be wrong by saying I want to invest in the no on Scotty Scheffler? And that $100 investment would pay back $213 here. Everybody thinks Scotty's going to win. It's like 100 golfers in those fields each and every week in the majors, the best golfers in the world. I'm going against the grain, Joe. Give me the no on Scotty Scheffler.
Prediction Markets Edge. Only on SportsGrid.
What is going on with this John Morant saga, right? Joe's on the block. Joe wants to be traded. But now Joe comes back and he denies all trade talks and John says he has no desire to play elsewhere. So he shut it down. He's still viewed as a franchise centerpiece when on the floor. Memphis, they're better with him.
Pro Basketball Today. Only on SportsGrid.
The Buffalo Bills have to find a new head coach. Take a look at the leaders right now. A 33% chance Brian Dable takes that job. You say, well, why? Wait a second here. He's head coach of the New York Giants. But did you know he came from the Buffalo Bills and basically resurrected Josh Allen on that MVP trajectory while he was with the Buffalo Bills? Clay Kubiak, Joe Brady, Davis Webb, all offensive guys, which I agree with.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
Having a little trivia right here for you, Joe Ranieri. The Seattle Seahawks, how about this? The last 3 times a new pope was elected, the Seahawks have made the Super Bowl as the #1 seed. 2005, Pope Benedict. 2013, Pope Francis. And 2025, Pope Leo here. Must be all written in the stars, huh?
Apparently. I mean, my goodness there. So, all right, one more time, one more go around. Will they be able to get it done here? In this one, it's going to be very interesting to see how all this plays out, and does it resemble anything like the previous two?
Let's take a look here. Okay, NFL, Seattle's in there. Super Bowl is going to be in Santa Clara. Also, the Pro Bowl will be out there in San Francisco with a new Pro Bowl quarterback. That is Shedeur Sanders. Now, they don't play the Pro Bowl anymore. It's called the Pro Bowl Games, where you just go out there, collect a paycheck, throw a couple footballs, sign it, and get out of town. But Shedeur Sanders catching a lot of heat on social media. We can't have this happen, Joe. This is ridiculous.
Well, the only reason it is happening is because he's being asked as a replacement because nobody else wants to play in this situation or whatever this is. Nobody else wants anything to do with it. So, yeah, he's going to be a replacement. He's like down the list here. But, that just tells you the quality of the individuals that are willing to go. This is much like we talked about, Donnie, right?
Yeah.
Why not? I get to go to a Pro Bowl? Yeah, I'll go. Why not? Sure, you don't deserve to be there.
How about that? It goes right. Does that go right on your Wikipedia page too? Like, hey man, I made the Pro Bowl when I was there. How did you do? Who did you beat out? Did you beat out one of the best with Lamar Jackson? No, nobody wanted to go. I went, so therefore I'm an alternate Pro Bowler. And therefore I am a Pro Bowler, and away we go at this point. How about this? Jared Goff He's going to replace Sam Darnold. Darnold was never going to the Pro Bowl anyways. My oblique hurt if I lost last week. He's going to the Super Bowl. Jared Goff's like, I'll spin a couple passes in these games. Pro Bowler.
Because he lives there. He's a California guy. No kidding. Yeah, okay, easy enough. I mean, people are not going to go out of their way for this game. Most certainly fans aren't. But, even the players are like, yeah, it's convenient. I can hop in a car for an hour and drive up there and get it done. We're all good. All good.
We're old enough to watch the Pro Bowl games where before the game itself, they used to have a couple things on a beach. And then one guy named Mr. Edwards' knee went left when his body went right. And they never did those Pro Bowl games again. So waiting for that next injury to take away these Pro Bowl games as we say it. But let's go over to the NBA. Hot topics are starting to fly, not because we're waiting on an NBA championship. We're a couple months away from that, Joe. But the trade deadline is coming up next week. And the biggest fish we've seen at the deadline in decades could be Giannis Antetokounmpo. But how about this? Rich Paul is looking to replace Giannis's current agent to help him get a new team. We got other agents and other agencies looking to throw other agencies under the bus to get that agency, Giannis Antetokounmpo. How's that sound?
Yeah, it sounds like things are going swimmingly here, aren't they, Donnie? Yeah, especially given the fact that now Giannis is getting an MRI to figure out what's going on with this calf and this calf strain, what usually leads to you-know-what, Donnie. So, yeah, things going swimmingly right now in Giannis's camp as well as the Milwaukee Bucks.
How about this? FanDuel putting out a tweet that says, who says no? The Pistons get Giannis Antetokounmpo and give up Tobias Harris, Jaden Ivey, Ron Holland II, a 2026 first rounder, a 2028 first rounder, a 2030 first round pick. If you are the Pistons, do you do this or say, we already have a good young team? Why would we even want to get aging veteran Giannis Antetokounmpo, who might even be injured for the rest of the season, to help us win a championship, Joe? What do you think? Makes sense or no?
Ding, ding, ding. That's the one. Yeah, no, you're not going to say it because, quite honestly, you don't have them now and you're at the top of the Eastern Conference. What do you need them for? And what are you going to mortgage the rest of your future? Makes absolutely no sense. No. And I don't think this trade can be done straight up one way or the other, Donnie. I think multiple teams are going to have to be involved because of the salary issues.
That's the way always, hey, NBA, do me a favor. Get rid of the salary for salary trades. It will be absolute madness every deadline if you did not have to worry about that. But the NBA likes to worry about that, and you got to match up salaries. For what reason? I have no idea. How about Tom Thibodeau? Said he's open to coach again, and just when you hear that, other players' knees already start to hurt just a little bit more. Says he loves the game, waiting for his next opportunity.
Yeah, well, I'm just waiting to burn out my next young superstar here, just like I did. I wonder if was Thibs at the ceremony there for Derrick Rose, since he single-handedly was responsible for both his replacement knees? No? Okay. Oh, he was. Okay, good. Very good. I'm so glad. No. But like the NBA and the NFL with retreads, Johnny, he will eventually land on a court somewhere.
How about landing on a court here? The only guy holding up the dunk competition on his back all by himself was Mac McClung. And he announced he won't participate in the competition at NBA All-Star Weekend this year. Now, is this a ploy to say, give me an extra couple million, I'll come back to it, I'll save this, or I have nothing left to prove. You're not going to run me back out there. By the way, he is one of the greatest dunkers of all time. He really is.
Yeah, but what he's saying is I'm not doing it for free. So if you want me there, we should go. And quite honestly, you should get him there, NBA, because nobody's going to have any interest otherwise if he's not.
Look, there's a lot of bums on NBA rosters. Like, you have a 15-man roster. Like, this guy couldn't be the 15th man on somebody's roster here just to keep in the NBA, get some spot playing time throughout a game. I mean, why isn't he in the NBA? Honestly, Bronny's in the NBA.
He was last year, Donnie, when they had him in the the All-Star game. He had like a two-way contract, and he did. It gave him a great opportunity to be on a roster there, or at least a two-way deal. So, I still think there's a shot he shows up there.
How about Kevin Durant logging so many minutes this season? Quote, I feel great, man. It's what I get paid to do. I get paid $50 million something to be available in play. Respect. Love to see it. Shout out KD. We're not out here skimping on minutes for the public, Joe.
I love it. And by the way, your team can't seem to win a game. So, you better be out there playing. But to his credit, Donnie, when he was with Brooklyn for those, whatever that was anyway, there when he left Golden State for the check in Brooklyn, when he wasn't hurt, he was one guy that you could count on that would show up on a nightly basis if he was able to play.
Oh, let's get back to the games yesterday. Teams who played, or I guess I thought they were playing, the Philadelphia 76ers. You watched the show yesterday for an afternoon matinee. I told you, I love the Philadelphia 76ers. This spot didn't look right here, and all the tickets were on the Sixers. Did you know at one point in this game, Joe, the Sixers were down 50-plus points? So I sent back our tweet here at SportsGrid. Like, I don't think I'm going to jinx this, but -3, cash that ticket. Hornets 130, Sixers 93. Absolute boat race in the afternoon, man.
Hey, I'm trying to think, was it the 41-22 second quarter beatdown by the Hornets or the 40-15 third quarter by the Hornets there that actually did the Sixers? And I think it might be a combination of both there.
So I should have saw this next one coming, too. The Timberwolves 108-83 over the Warriors. That line spiked and spiked and spiked, and the public was like, that's a lot of points for the Warriors. No, it isn't. Hammer time. Warriors get that victory here. And by the way, Rudy Gobert, little 15-17 action.
Yeah, no, I mean, Steph Curry was ruled out there. Anthony Edwards was ruled out. The public had no idea which way to go. It didn't matter who played in this game. The Timberwolves were absolutely going to bounce back on the second of a back-to-back at home here, and they did just that.
You ready for this one, Joe? This is where the public just can't get a grip on some things. The Sixers went on the road yesterday, went down 50 points, and didn't even show up. Oh, no, the Sixers actually have a back-to-back, and they're favored by 10.5. If you are reading lines, that's a stone-cold Sixers line right there, baby.
That's it. The tank is on for Milwaukee. I've been saying that for a while now, even with Giannis back. Now that Giannis is not available, yeah, you can expect the tank in full effect here for the Milwaukee Bucks. That's an embarrassing number for Milwaukee.
Man, getting pummeled by 50 yesterday, getting on a plane, going home, and favored by double digits. Let's see where this game actually ends up. Pistons and the Nuggets, we talked about on the spread lines to open the show. 6 to 6.5 point favorite currently now for the Pistons on the road. Denver's the home team catching those points in a total of 218.5.
Yeah, well, I mean, injury is still an issue here, obviously, for Denver. Figure out who's playing for them before you jump into this game.
College basketball, money well spent, money not well spent. Rutgers, we're talking about you coming up next.
Fear that we had going on. And the players obviously were paid $10,000 to $30,000 per fix. But what this does is it hits at the core of the identity in the sport, especially in the modern day betting era.
College basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
Basically my co-host on Game Time Decisions, Josh Doan, is featured so much. And I also want to say this basically now confirms we are the premier Josh Doan network in all of sports media. No way no other show mentions Josh Doan as much as this one. Is that a success? Is that a failure? I don't know, but I think it's true.
Game Time Decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Meanwhile, Charlie Baker of the NCAA has planted his flag. He wants to see the end of prediction markets, and of course is a little bit nervous with all of the different stories that we've heard surrounding sports betting allegations of some folks being corrupt out there and maybe some point shaving. It does make some sense here. I just wonder which of the sports betting operators are going to stand with the NCAA.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
But I remember being 16 in high school, being in my school uniform, long pants and a tie, and I deadlifted 200 kgs, so that's 440 pounds. So yeah, so that was I actually have a video of it, so it might get leaked somewhere. Someone might be able to find that one.
We might need to get that one to B-roll the show in.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
Spending your money. It's what the government does inefficiently. Hey, look at that. Taxes are raised up here. More power to the people. Absolutely not. Well, let's take a look at college sports. Now, most teams, Joe, jockey for position to get in a very lucrative contract because the TV deals carry the day. No conference makes more money than the Big Ten. Rutgers is in the Big Ten. Boy, that's a windfall for the athletic program, isn't it? Apparently not. Rutgers' athletics deficit has hit a record $78 million. In 2024-2025, new AD Kelly Zinn says, quote, it's got to get better. So when you get a TV deal worth probably hundreds of millions of dollars, how do you run a budget deficit of $78 million? It doesn't make any sense, but that's the state of New Jersey, which I live in. Absolutely corrupt. Horrible governors every year. Horrible state senators every year. Horrible with everything, your money management. And you know what the best part about it is? They continuously ask for money, and we can't do anything about it. So Rutgers University operating just like the state of New Jersey, crushing their own people. Sign of the times, Joe, just the way it is. It's impossible to happen, but it happens. It's New Jersey.
Well, and it happens in states like New Jersey because they keep robbing Peter to pay Paul here. I mean, the financials, Donnie, show a 73% fringe rate. So that means an employee for the athletic department making $100,000 is considered to be making $173,000 because they have to also account for their retirement funds, all of the health care, all of that. So basically, they're paying for some coach's retirement from 1955 because they keep borrowing and stealing from that retirement fund every year that they have to keep tacking it on every year. So it's very easy to run a deficit when you continue to try to pay for things from 30 years ago.
It's like if you worked at Barone Sanitation. I need those W-2s for the next 10 years. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, hey, you got to buy out somewhere. They're expensive packages. They're golden parachutes there, and away you go. Rutgers running a deficit. You know where else are going to be running a deficit tonight, Joe? Against Michigan State. As Michigan State comes to town, Izzo and the boys, 2 touchdown favorites over Rutgers at what was formerly known as the Rack. 136.5 points is the total listed there. What happened, Rutgers? Used to be able to protect the Rack at this point. Now, also, I think it's Jersey Mike's Arena. Like, that's not making up the deficit here. We went from the Rack to Jersey Mike's, and we still can't make up these funds. Oh, Rutgers. Are they getting pasted tonight, Joe?
Oh, no, they're going to get pasted in a very big way because that team is just awful, Donnie. Not awful Michigan State, which will have their way here. And you know how it works in the Big Ten. Everybody loves beating up on the lesser teams here. And yes, Michigan State is no exception. They will do exactly the same to a terrible Rutgers squad right now.
Did you know Louisville was up 25-24 with about 3 to 4 minutes to go in the first half? You know, Louisville got beat by 31 points because the offense just absolutely shut off in the second half. 45 points scored by Duke, 24 for Louisville. You live by the 3, you die by the 3. It didn't work out in their favor yesterday at all.
They died by everything. They couldn't hit water if they fell out of a boat, and it was great for them to be able to get Mikel Brown Jr. back, who I think was 0 of 8 in the first half, and went 1 of 13 with 3 turnovers for the game with 7 points. I mean, just absolutely terrible here, and that was it. I mean, 3 of 22, I think, from the field for Ryan Comwell, too, their other number 2 scorer. Yep. Yeah, it could not have gone any worse for Louisville last night.
3-ball wasn't falling for a while for BYU as Arizona was extending their lead. Arizona ended up winning this game 86-83. And I got to tell you, like I like to watch the highlights, like the second half rundowns when I wake up in the morning. And I see the final score. I'm like, ooh, that was a really close game. Like if I would have had Arizona at -1.5, I think I would have had to call an inquiry on what the heck was going on with the referees late in that basketball game. But Arizona wins. They block a shot when they were only up 1 point with about 3 seconds to go. Got to the foul line, splashed 2 threes, a harmless, heave from half court missed, and Arizona came away with a victory, their 21st of the season. BYU with a crazy comeback, and also some crazy calls down the stretch by the refs.
Yeah, I mean, listen, BYU trailed by 19 about halfway through that second half, Donnie. They went on a nice 12-2 run, and then, but unfortunately, they just ran out there. And, yeah, that was the whole thing. BYU's biggest problem this year is their defense isn't as good as people think it is, and their offense goes these ridiculously long droughts without scoring, and then they score in bunches. But against a team like Arizona, you're going to bury yourself too big a hole and not be able to climb out of it. And that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, what happened? And also, by the way, with Arizona, that's one of the few teams in college basketball that doesn't rely on the three-point shot when BYU does. BYU hit a couple three-pointers to open up the game when ice cold there, then got real hot in the second half, but too hot too late at that point. Arizona with a great win there, trying to stay undefeated for the regular season, along with Nebraska, who plays tonight as a double-digit underdog. And also, we preview Miami, Ohio, roughly as a double-digit favorite in that game to see if those undefeateds can stay there. Nebraska is going to take on Michigan tonight, as we just talked about, 10.5-point favorite for Michigan at home against Nebraska, 155.5. Joe, you previewed this already today as we lined you up on some spread lines. Give the people a second thought on Nebraska and Michigan.
Well, I mean, let's face it, this should be a fun game. But the problem, again, is strength of schedule. Nebraska, you win the games, that's great. But they have played one top 25 offense, and that was Illinois. And then they only played one top 25 defense. That was Michigan State. And by the way, coincidentally, both of those games were the games that they barely ended up winning. So now you get a top 25 offense, top 25 defense in Michigan on the road. We're going to learn a lot about Nebraska here tonight.
Purdue and Indiana going to take place tonight at Indiana. And how about this? Purdue is the favorite, minus 5.5 points here, a total of 152.5. Who's going to win this game? State versus state competition.
Yeah, to me, I mean, again, is this a top 20, top 5 team, Donnie, like they were for the first 18 games of the season? I mean, they went on a crazy West Coast trip, 4 games in 10 days, and then lost at home to Illinois, and now they're 0 both of their last 2, but they're now going to go 0-3. I think this is a great value spot to back the Purdue Boilermakers, who are better than this Indiana team.
Yeah, pretty good card of college basketball once again tonight as we start to shift center stage to college. We're getting into the month of February, which will start next week. And again, it happens fast. It's rapid. You go right from conference championships in the lower divisions here all the way through to the majors. And then we have March Madness right on top of that, and Selection Sunday. Getting people hyped here on a Tuesday. It's what we do. We'll be back after this short break.
Marshall's a tough environment, though. Marshall's that sneaky road trip, in my opinion, and this has been like a decade long that Marshall's been fire at home and terrible on the road. That's a dangerous road game, but if you look at, there's no return game with Kent State. There's no return game with Akron. Maybe when they go to UMass with Frank Martin being such a good coach, he could really take teams out of their rhythm. But I think there's a case that they could be undefeated in the regular season.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
If there's more revenue for the league, there's more revenue for the players, and that would make it saleable. So they may have objections. Certainly there's more risk of injury the longer the season goes. But these guys, their careers are short. The money is good. Money would be better. So I wouldn't bet against the league expanding sooner rather than later.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
This is the fear that we had going on. And the players obviously were paid $10,000 to $30,000 per fix. But what this does is it hits at the core of the identity in the sport, especially in the modern day betting era.
College basketball today, only on SportsGrid.
His wife and his kids were like, I kind of like this. This kind of works out for me. Daddy's a celebrity again, so I get access to things. Daddy's making money again. Hadn't made a nickel in the last 5 years. Now he's made a lot of money, so I'm sure they're good.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, the prospect of Daddy being away, like he ain't cheating on you in Buffalo, I can tell you that. I live there.
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
The Super Bowl takes a week off, get the hype building up. Next week, it'll be game week again, and we will analyze every single move, every single injury report that comes back. We'll overcompensate for things we shouldn't be doing, and then we'll take a look at that spread to see where it settles in at, which right now sits as a 4.5-point favorite for the Seattle Seahawks and a 45.5 total to 46, depending where he's shopping at, to see where that one lands on Super Bowl Sunday. So as we start here, I don't think there's too many takers. Just look at it roughly, the ticket count, Joe. 75% of the spread tickets here coming in on Seattle. That's no surprise. They looked really good in their victory against the Rams in a fun game. And New England had that snow game, barely pulled it out. That's going to happen. Also, questions of oblique injury to Sam Darnold. Is he going to be just fine for the Super Bowl? Looked just fine the past 2 weeks. And how about Drake May? Maybe a shoulder injury that suffered on Sunday in the snow? Maybe not. I'm sure they'll keep that under wraps as well. But here we sit, Joe, roughly 2 weeks out from the Super Bowl as a 4.5-point favorite towards Seattle.
Yeah, it's and let's be realistic here. I think this is there is a lot that is going to change over the next 2 weeks here, Donnie. But I do think that key numbers are out of the question. I don't think we're getting anywhere to 3. I don't think we're getting anywhere to 7. This is what we like to call no man's land here in the business, because there is no difference between taking 4.5, laying 4.5, or 5. Or even 5.5, Donnie. They're not key numbers. They are not part of what you would try one way or the other and think, oh, there's value. No, it's 4.5, 5.5 is the book's way of saying we're going to let you guys decide which way we keep this pushing. If there's an abundance of Seattle money, this thing will get closer to 6. But if there's not, this thing will likely land 4 when it's all said and done. So forget about key numbers. You're not going to get one in this Super Bowl.
Tweet sent out by Ryan Butler of Covers. Super Bowl LX is the unlikeliest matchup of all time based on preseason odds, with Seattle 60-1 and New England 80-1. It's the second least likely matchup in major North American sports history after the 1991 World Series between Minnesota 80-1 and Atlanta 200-1. By the way, I think that World Series ended in 7 games on a 1-0, basically like walk-off base knocker, walk-off home run in that one. It's a sensational series. But how about that? Unlikely opponents, Joe, in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, no, very unlikely. I mean, nobody saw this one coming. We get that. But it's interesting. We have seen that usually in these spots, I believe, underdogs in the Super Bowl of 3 or more points have covered the spread, Donnie, I think 12 of the last 15. So it's been very profitable if you're getting more than a field, or at least a field goal or more. We have seen in this spot now, dogs have risen to the occasion. The biggest spread, by the way, was Pittsburgh in 2009. That's the last big spread that we've gotten, and that was 7. Pittsburgh won that one, but they didn't cover it either, laying a touchdown. We'll see if that trend continues here in this one.
It's crazy to think in the 1990s where the NFC would just win the NFC championship and then go to the Super Bowl as like 15, 16, 17-point favorites. So at least we do get some good, referendums on good Super Bowl games as opposed to just a blowout watch. How about this? From one Seahawk quarterback to another, Russell Wilson tweeted out, Sam Darnold's comeback story over the past 2 years has been one of the most inspirational things to watch. Cool seeing him overcome. Congrats, bro. Hope you win it all. And go Hawks. Trying to take the spotlight from Sammy D? What's he doing?
I have no idea, but please get his picture. I mean, no, stop it. Like, we trust Sam now. We don't trust you, Russell. But it's hey, listen, if you're Seattle, right? I mean, let's be honest. Nobody really thought out of college Russell Wilson was going to be that big a game changer. Don't forget, it was Pete Carroll that had him down on the depth chart too, until, of course, he started him 1 year and everyone's like, what are we starting Russell Wilson for? Well, then it kind of took off from there. Same thing with Sam Darnold. So Seattle has a way of finding talent that maybe nobody else seemed to think would amount to anything.
Remember how boring it used to be talking every single year about the Kansas City Chiefs or the New England Patriots? Well, the Patriots are back in the Super Bowl. It's been 7 long years, Joe. Welcome back. Welcome back, boys.
Yeah, and that's, right. I mean, people are going absolutely ballistic, being like, you got to be kidding me. Now we got to deal with the Patriots back in the Super. Yeah. Yes, the worst, most annoying fan base in the world is back, folks. So get used to
What
it.
if it's even a hot ticket? Is it a hot ticket out there? I don't know. I can't gauge the interest of Seattle versus New England in San Francisco. But Super Bowl MVP here, Sam Darnold, the leader, plus 125. Drake May, plus 230. And then a bunch of other players behind that. Will it be a quarterback, Joe, that's announced MVP when it's all said and done?
Most likely, yes, because neither team's going to run very well.
Sam D. Hour number 2 coming up next. The Hot Topics don't stop.